because we're getting down to the end of Peter Pan. There's only 2 chapters left, so we're going to finish the chapter we started on Friday. As you remember, the pirates and the Lost Boys were about to have a battle on the ship. Peter had just freed the Lost Boys and Wendy from the capture of the pirates, and he was getting ready for battle. Lads, Hook suggested, perhaps our run of bad luck is due to the lady we have on board. Let's get rid of her and see if our luck changes. Throw her overboard, the pirates cried, and rushed to the figure in the cloak. There's no one who can save you now, the pirates hissed. There's one person, the figure at the mast replied in a strangely low voice. Peter Pan! As he spoke, Peter threw off the cloak and revealed his face. Suddenly, everyone understood what was happening. Get him, Hook cried, but not very convincingly. He sensed that Peter was about to best him once again, and that it was too much for him. Hook's fierce heart broke. Fight, Peter cried. The boys burst out of the cabin, and a fierce battle with the pirates began. The pirates were stronger, but the boys were smarter and fought in pairs. Some of the pirates jumped overboard, while others ran away and hid. Finally, only Hook was left. The boys surrounded him. Even alone, he was strong and brave and kept them away using nothing but his hook. He lifted one boy up and used him as a shield. Peter jumped in the circle. Stand back, he cried. This man is mine. For a long time, the enemies just looked at each other. So, Hook said, this is all you're doing? It is, Peter crowed. Cocky, arrogant boy, Hook said, to prepare to meet your end. And you, Peter cried. A dramatic sword fight followed, during which both man and boy fought bravely. Finally, Hook moved to get Peter with his iron hand, and Peter ducked and lunged his sword at Hook's ribs. Hook stared down at the wound in surprise. As you may recall, the only blood he could not stand to look at was his own. He dropped his sword. Now, the boys cried. It was time to finish Hook off. They lunged forward, but Peter held up his hand, stopping them. Pick up your sword, he told Hook, who obeyed. What are you? Hook asked. How is it possible that you have beaten me? You cannot just be an ordinary boy. I am not an ordinary boy, Peter said. I am youth. I am joy. I am a little bird that just escaped its shell, and above all, I am fair. Hook narrowed his eyes. Enough, he said. Back to the fight. He swung his sword wildly around. Anyone else would have been hit, but Peter ducked it as if the wind were working to protect him, blowing him just the right distance this way and that. Desperate, Hook ran off and returned with a bomb. In 2 minutes, he cried. When he returned, the ship will be blown to bits. But Peter just picked it up and threw it overboard. Hook hated how calmly and bravely Peter was behaving. Peter was showing, could it possibly be, good form? The thought of this was too much to bear. As the boys drew closer, Hook bravely saw them. His mind was elsewhere, back in his school days, when he had first learned of good form. Seeing Peter advancing with his sword, Hook turned and stood at the edge of the boat, looking down at the sea. He saw the crocodile was there waiting for him. There's Hook looking at the crocodile. Peter kicked him overboard. As he fell, he realized how much to his delight that the kick was actually very bad for him. Feeling superior, Hook went happily to the crocodile. With the fight at last over, Wendy emerged from the cabin below. The boys danced around her, pointing out all the places they had fought. Yes, you are very brave boys, Wendy said, but it is past your bedtime. Let's get into the pirates' bunks, messy as they are, and get some rest. All of the boys went down to sleep except for Peter. He had fell asleep on deck, next to the pirates' cannon. Wendy sat next to him the whole time, softly rubbing his head to protect him from bad dreams. Chapter 16 tomorrow, The Return Home.